Hello everybody and welcome back to Bookum Dano's channel. This is another episode of Peanuts Picks, but before I dive into my picks, I want to thank Bubs Comics for leaving a comment and directing me to read Before Watchmen. I'm super ashamed that I haven't read Before Watchmen because I'm a huge Watchmen fan, but I'm completely obsessed, and so probably maybe the next, maybe not the next one, but the next one after that, I will definitely be diving into Before Watchmen. So thank you, Bubs Comics. And if anybody else has suggestions or comments about different trades for me to pick out, I will. So thank you again. So let's dive right into it. We're going to try to do this without glasses today because I did a little spill and hit my head and I can't put my glasses on. So we're going to try our best today. First up is Kill My Mother by Jules Feiffer. It is a bluesy, fast-moving, and funny noir. It's about three daunting dolls that intersect with one hapless heroine and a hard-boiled private eye. Deception, betrayal, and murder stalk every mean street and Kill My Mother. It's a comedic, noirish story, and it begins in the 1930s in the aftermath of the death of a Southern California policeman. The cop's widow, a blonde named Elsie, makes ends meet by going to work for an alcoholic private eye who knew her husband. Meanwhile, her daughter Annie feels abandoned and takes up doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So, as you guys have probably gathered, if you guys are fans or subscribe to this channel, I love reading noirs. This is like if Mel Brooks wrote a noir. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. It's really funny. It's a really good story, and even more interesting is Jules Feiffer won the Pulitzer Prize. He was a Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist, and he was in his 80s. He is in his 80s currently, and he was in his 80s when he wrote this. So the art is just, it's phenomenal. It's so great. And like I said, it's kind of dark, you know. It's about like these generations of women that don't want to kill their mom, and but it's really funny. And it's like you're reading a comic strip, but it's in a graphic novel. It's such a joy to read. It really takes you back to, you know, what you could imagine what the 1930s is like, and really great story. And he has another book coming out, and it's also like a comedy noir type of old Hollywood that I'm thinking about picking up. So this is my first pick, Kill My Mother, Jules Feiffer. So the next pick is more of a fun pick, Afterlife, Archie. This one kind of sat on our shelf for a real long time, not because I wasn't interested in it, just because we have a pretty solid collection of graphic novels, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But I'm really happy that I picked it up. So, Afterlife, Archie, it starts out kind of sad. Reggie's driving a car and kills Jughead's beloved dog, Hot Dog. Jughead asks Sabrina to bring his beloved pet back to life, and she does, but it brings terrible consequences on Riverdale. Hot Dog becomes a zombie and bites Jughead, who subsequently becomes a zombie and spreads, don't want to really say this word right now, spreads contagion to many of the beloved characters. It was really fun to read. It was a surprisingly really entertaining read, and it was funny. The art's amazing. It brings together, the color story for this is insane. So if you are an art lover, this is so good. And I saw some of the individual issues. The covers are really cool. And again, if you guys, watch Peanuts Picks, you guys know I love covers and I love a good book with great art. And it brings together Archie's in it, Betty, Veronica, my favorite, Cheryl Blossom. I always wanted to be Cheryl Blossom when I was a kid and reading Archie. Sabrina's in it, and this is fun. Pick it up. This was like a surprise. It was a good surprise. So, Afterlife with Archie. And let's see. So my third pick is Pretty Deadly, and it was pretty good. It was pretty amazing, actually. So there's 3 volumes. We have volume 1, volume 2. I read volume 3 really, really recently on Hoopla. Dan got this for me a while ago, and I read volume 1, and then volume 2 kind of got lost in the shuffle, and I didn't get around to reading it. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I read all 3 volumes, and there's only going to the story's done. It's over. So Pretty Deadly is written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, and the art is by Spanish artist Emma Rios. Pretty Deadly is a mythical western, a tale of retribution and redemption that begins at the gallows and ends in death's domain. It is a story told by a dead rabbit to a butterfly, and that you are invited to quietly overhear the conversations between the dead bunny and the butterfly. And they talk about life, and they talk about death, and they talk about things that are bigger than us, and in kind of like a really innocent, sweet way. And they're written really poetically, and they're in all 3 volumes. So the story combines all kinds of elements. It combines Western, horror, lots of aspects of mythology and folklore. The art is amazing. Another main character that is in all 3 volumes is the main character, which is Death's daughter, and her name is Death-Faced Ginny. She rides the winds on a horse made of smoke, and her face bears the skull marks of her father. Her tale of retribution is as beautifully lush and as it is unflinchingly savage. So it's kind of the magical realism of Sandman and the Western brutality of Preacher. They had a baby, and then they conceived Pretty Deadly. That's what I think that's a good comparison. Volume 3 was probably my favorite, but it's such a beautiful story, and I was telling Dan about it last night, and he is interested in picking it up, which I was pleasantly surprised, because I always like when he picks up books, because then we get to talk about them. So I hope that he does really enjoy the all 3 volumes, and the art is just So beautiful. And it's written just so poetically, and it's a really great storytelling. So if you like a good story, Pretty Deadly. All right, last up, guys, is Batman's Arkham Asylum. And I know probably a lot of you have this on your shelf. You've already read it, and you're like, I'm done. I don't need to hear about it. But I learned so many things about this. I got Dan this a while ago, and I read it. And I liked it. And I liked it mainly because the art is out of this world. Let's get to some good. There we go. There's some good art. Look at that. The art is amazing. So this book, if you are not familiar with it, it is a mental autopsy on Batman and his enemies. And in doing so, it set both its creators on the road to greatness. And what they mean by that is that Arkham Asylum is the most successful original graphic novel to be published in America, which is pretty amazing considering if you think of how many graphic novels are out there. Dave McKean is the artist, and he is so multi-talented. He's best known for collaborating with Neil Gaiman on a lot of different projects. So it definitely has kind of like that Sandman art feel. The art is, I spent a lot of time reading this book, but I wasn't really like reading it. I was looking at the art, and it really inspired a lot of art for me to do. So if you're an artist, definitely pick this up. This is on Hoopla. Dave McKean, the artist, he's not only just an artist, he's a photographer, filmmaker, musician, so talented. Definitely recommend this book. On Hoopla, this is the 25th anniversary edition, and this is the one that's on Hoopla. So at the end, when you're done reading, you'll get to see, look at that, that's cool right there. You'll get to see preliminary sketches, and then what Grant Morrison he wrote out, and probably like this is probably what he gave to the artist, so like the artist knew what to draw, and then it gives like an interview about the book and why he chose this and different things like that. And it has really great quotes from Alice in Wonderland, and so many nods to look how cool this is. This one's probably my favorite. I mean, like that's like the opening art, so beautiful. So so also Batman confronts many of his arch nemesis in this too. Joker, Two-Face, Killer Croc. There is and the Riddler, and there's a woman who is a psychiatrist, which I'm pretty sure is Harley Quinn, but she's not. I don't believe she's named, but I think it's Harley. So it's really cool. So those are my picks. Thank you again, Bubs Comics, for leaving that comment. Like I said, totally ashamed I have not picked up before Watchmen. But if any of you guys have any suggestions for trades or for comics for me to pick up, I will pick them up, and definitely they will be in Peanuts picks. So I hope everybody is doing well, staying well, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.